Good afternoon. I am Lugh Poetek, and this is day 22 of my 90-day fast 5K. Now I want to do something with this video. I want to talk about something that's, near and dear to my heart. And I've been wanting to make this video for a while, and finally I've gotten around to it. So back in July, I decided to go on a 90-day fast 5K, abstaining from certain vices of mine, and also at the same time saving at least $5,000 over the next 3 months. And I didn't just pull this number out of thin air, and that's what this video is today, is to talk about budgeting and how I came up with this number and how you can realistically come up with your own savings number during a 3-month period. So the United States separates a year in 4 quarters. A quarter split into 3 months. Now we are approaching the 4th quarter now. We are currently in the 3rd quarter, which ends in like next month. Employees in the United States get paid yearly salaries or wages. They're based on their position. You know what I'm talking about? And where I came up with my number for $5,000 is I looked at last year's tax returns that I filed, and I broke that gross number down into 4 different parts. So I split it into 4 quarters. And after I did that, and my income is it's only a couple $1,000s above what's considered low income status in Pennsylvania. So I'm here talking to you, guys and gals, who are in the same position, because I personally want to become financially free and financially independent, where I'm in control of my own future, and I have not a choice if I want to work or not, and how much I want to make. The first thing to mention is, a lot of us, it's a beautiful concept to fantasize about working for yourself and being on your own time. So much that we just jump into doing something like that without properly assessing the risks and opportunity costs of doing that. So I have a couple friends who stepped out of employee payment and stepped into self-employed, self-employed work, contracting, stuff like that. Now I have that very same opportunity as all of my comrades, you know what I mean? However, the reason why I have chosen to stick with employment to fuel my journey to financial independence is because instead of, I don't like to, fantasize or sugarcoat stuff. Like, I want to be real and have a real talk conversation between you and I. And we think about how sexy it is to not have to work for somebody else, to work for yourself and all the other stuff, minus the risk associated with it. But the reason why I've chosen to stick with being employed instead of jumping into self-employment at this current time period is because a lot of us take our incomes, we take our own incomes for granted. And one of the most powerful vehicles that you can use to fuel your journey to financial independence is your own employ. It's dynamic in the new marketplace we're in. It's dynamic and changed to fit your needs. Like, there's a lot of opportunity in the new dynamic employer marketplace in the United States, which is something that we're blessed to have. We have opportunities and things along those lines. Even if you're making $20,000 a year, $15,000 a year, being employed, that's still $15,000 a year that you can put through certain vehicles into your own financial independence. And instead of taking the risk and stepping outside of the being employed and going to self-employment, like, while we have it, we should use this guaranteed income to our advantages. You know, it's really easy income. You know your job, you do your job, and that's what it is. What we need to do with this income that we are making, whether you're self-employed or employed, is split it out like the fiscal year into quarters. And I split my income last year into quarters. And then it's sad, the average American, I think, only saves about 10% of the total income until retirement. They get retired, get on Medicare, and they're broke, straight flat broke. And I don't want to be that person. And I know that you don't want to be that person either. However, in order to not be that person, to use your own income to your advantage, you have to learn to save it. And I'll post some videos all along the sides in here talking about how to save your money and about the steps that I've done to save my money to get me to this point. Like, just in July, I finally became debt-free, which has been a 5-year journey, and I'm so happy that I'm finally there. But once I hit that, I was like, okay, now that I'm debt-free, I need to work on my own financial independence. So, this principle that I'm about to present to you is budgeting superpower that you can use to fuel your own financial journey and save however much money you need to save is the following. A lot of us, when we go to saving money, we think we should save like $100 a week for every paycheck, $50 a week every paycheck, save, I don't know, 10 cents, $1 every time we spend $10. Like, there's millions of ways you can budget. But what I have found as the best way to budget your money is not to think in solid numbers, because although we're employed or we have these incomes from different streams, like, that can always change. Like, one of the things that inspired me to go on this journey is because my commissions, I'm in insurance, have just got cut like crazy. And if I was going with the traditional way of saving, by saving $100 every paycheck or whatever it is you may save, like, the problem with that number is not flexible. You're stuck in $100 a week, $100 a week. But life doesn't work like that. Life is chaotic. I mean, you learn anything about quantum physics, you understand that we cannot predict the natural world as we like to think that we can. Just like that, we can't presume or be presumptuous and think that we can predict our own income situation. So the way that I determine how to save my money is through ratios and percentages. So what I did is, after I split my income into 4 quarters, I then took a quarter of that, it's about a 25% savings rate after tax. So I took a quarter of that savings rate and, excuse me, I took a quarter of that savings rate and I found out how much that would be. And a quarter of that savings rate would be maybe $2,000 to $3,000 every 3 months. But me, I want to propel myself, I want to empower my own future. So instead of going the 25% route, which is still higher than 90% of America today, I decided to boost that up to 50% to 60%. And what I'm recommending for you to do to figure out what your quarterly income savings can be is, after you take your income and split it into a quarter, then just split that income itself into a quarter. You don't gotta do what I do and be extreme and do 50-60% of it. What you need to do is take a quarter of the income that you are making every quarter, if you follow me, and that's about 25% of your income every quarter. Okay, you gotta realize you split the income into 4 quarters. So you split your income, let's say it's $20,000. You split $20,000 into 4s, which is $5,000, and then you take a quarter of that. And a quarter of $5,000 is not a nice number. It's like 15, 30. It's like between $1,500 and $2,000. And then you break that down and make that your income savings goal. And no matter if you're low income status or your high income status, like, the power that you have when you break your income down into ratios and percentages instead of set solid numbers is remarkable. So I'm going on 10 minutes. I hope this really low to YouTube. I don't know what their dangs are nowadays, but anyway. So I'm gonna just use the example that I did for myself to help provide you some guidance. So what I do is, after taxes are deducted, I choose to save 50% of that income. So if I make $1,000 in one pay period, I take 50% of that, and then I put it into a high interest savings account. And I need to implore the importance of high interest, because even though interest rates are dropping and savings account interest rates are dropping too at your traditional bank, and I'll post a link in the bio in regards to an article I was posted on our blog site about online savings. But normal banks pay less than 0.01% interest. So if you can get a high interest savings account, even if it's just 1%, that still is better than what you were doing before. And the reason why I say use percentages and ratios is because if I make $1,000, I take 50% of that, which is $500. If I only make $500, because in insurance your income is not guaranteed. Most of your income is made on commissions. So I need to be flexible, and even if you're in a position where it's paid salary, you should still be flexible. So then when you get raises, say you were making $50,000 and get a $60,000 raise, instead of adding an additional $100,000 or $1,000 to your savings rate, whatever it is, just keep that percentage the same. And what I found when you do that is your savings, your investings, they increase with your income, but when your income decreases, it doesn't cut you out of savings. You're still saving. So if I'm making $1,000 for one pay period, I save $500. If I only make $500 the next pay period, I save for $250. You see, it's flexible. It works no matter how little or how much income you have. And that is how I came to choose $5,000. And that's even above. That's like, we're talking about $5,000 is more like 60-70% of my income during that quarterly period, you know. But I'm shooting high, because as I said, I want to empower my own future and my own finances. So I know this video was long-winded. We're going on 13 minutes. It's been my longest video yet, and it's day 22 of my 90-day fast to 5K. But I've been wanting to make this video for a while, and I finally kind of gathered my thoughts and wanted to put it out there to you. So to recap, and I promise I'm done. To recap, no matter where your income is, take a percentage of that income that you are making, owe to yourself as like a me tax. Pay yourself first before you even pay any bills. Me tax. If you can't start at 50%, which I don't expect you to, start at 25%, start at 15%. Just do something better than what you're doing right now, and something that will be able to grow when you grow. And if your income falls, you'll still be able to continuously save, because over time it's persistency and consistency that breeds more money soldiers that you can use to finance your future and your lifestyle. So thank you for tuning in. I'm glad I finally got this out there, and I hope to God that YouTube will allow me to upload this long video. Check me out, subscribe to the page, TheLughXPerience. Check out the blog site, all the links are in the bio, and check out the 4 videos I post right here in the margins at the end of this video to learn more about different hacks that you can do to help boost your savings rate. So, appreciate you. I want to wish you a wonderful weekend, and God bless, and make your income work more for you instead of work less.